Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Welcome to New York and the 2023 U.S. Open, where spectacular awaits. Hallowed grounds that have inspired generations of tennis fans everywhere, who have been witness to incredible matches from the greatest legends of the game. The home of the epic night matches, with that New York-infused energy from the crowd that is unrivaled by any other venue, where memories are waiting to be created in every corner. It's an electricity you don't just see or hear, it's one you feel. This is the U.S. Open, and this is Courtside, the official podcast for the U.S. Open. And here's your host, Marc Stern.
Hello and welcome to Courtside. Thank you so much for tuning in for day 13 when we crown two more champions, one for mixed doubles and the other for women's singles. I will get to all the highlights from those two matches, and I'll talk with the one and only Mary Carillo to get her thoughts on both men's semifinals from day 12, and we'll also talk about the two women's finalists, Coco Gauff and Aryna Sabalenka. But there's lots to get to, so let's dive into those highlights from day 13 right now, and what a day it was. Well, maybe not weather-wise, because it was hot, humid with a threat of thunderstorms, so that meant we'd be playing with the roof closed on ash. And the first match of the day was the Mixed Doubles Championship, which featured the number one team of Jessica Pegula and Austin Krajicek against the unseeded squad of Anna Danilina and Jari Heliovara, who were actually playing together in this tournament for the very first time. And, of course, it would be Danilina and Heliovara who would get the first break.
Over to Heliovara, goes with the T-serve. Heliovara gets it back on the backhand side. So does Krajicek at the net with the backhand volley into the net. Heliovara gets the break there with Danilia, and they strike first. 2-love with the break in the Mixed Doubles Championship.
And they'd hold off Pegula and Krajicek the rest of the way to take the lead in the match.
There's another set point. Rumbles into Krajicek. Danilia is there. Krajicek steps up to Danilia with the overhead. Good! Head high! What a start for Danilina and Heliovara, taking the opening set of the Mixed Doubles Championship 6-3 in 31 minutes.
Pegula and Krajicek were broken to start the second set, but the number one seeds hung tough, and when they got their opening, they made the most of it.
Flops to the cross court and Danilia on a crouch stance. Pegula goes back into the outside. Danilia's there off the backhand. Pegula top is right at Heliovara. Picked up by Krajicek. Pegula's there. Heliovara can't handle the backhand. Off of the volley poach. Pegula's got it. Oh, that's monstrous. Back on serve, 2-all. Second set of the Mixed Doubles Championship.
And both sides would stay on serve until, with Pegula and Krajicek serving at 3-4, Danilina and Heliovara struck again.
On the Krajicek serve, skids off the line. Here's Heliovara. He's got it! Breaks at love!
And with the championship on their racket, they quickly put the match away.
Championship point number 2 for Heliovara. He rocks back, it cradles into the forehand, lofted over the net. Here comes Krajicek. Volley there by Danilia. They do it! For the first time in their careers, the Grand Slam champions!
So congratulations to Anna and Jari. And if you want my advice, you guys should stay together as a team for a while. I think you do all right together. And that brought us to the women's final between Coco Gauff, the 6th seed, and Aryna Sabalenka, the 2 seed. And just this week, she became the world number 1 player. The two have played each other 5 times, with Gauff holding the edge 3-2, but Sabalenka won the only match they played against each other this year when she beat Gauff in the quarterfinals at Indian Wells 6-4, 6-love. But honestly, Gauff has been the hottest player on tour over the last month, so it was anyone's guess as to how this would turn out. With Billie Jean King on the court for the coin toss in front of a packed, star-studded crowd, you could feel the energy everywhere in Ash. But unfortunately, things did not get off to the start Coco wanted.
Toss, second serve, goes into the body. Sabalenka slid to her right, goes backhand middle. Bigger backhand from Sabalenka. Gauff hangs a forehand, backhand. Sabalenka just slugging away at these. Steps in for the winner and gets it. You heard the come on behind it, and Sabalenka strikes first.
But it didn't take long for her to get things back on serve.
Good serve deep into the backhand corner. Now is the open line. Cross court with the backhand. Backhand middle, Gauff not deep enough, but Sabalenka netted the forehand and is broken. Coco back on level terms as she breaks for 2-all.
Sabalenka kept the pressure up, forcing 2 more break points in Gauff's next game. Coco fought off those 2 points, but when Sabalenka got a third chance, she cashed in.
Chance to go up 3-2 in this opening set. Gauff served down the center. They trade from the center of the baseline. Now Sabalenka goes short ball backhand, leaning forehand Gauff. Big backhand Sabalenka into the Gauff forehand. Forehand cross court. Sabalenka injects more power Too much for Goff to handle as Sabalenka breaks for the second time in this opening set. Aryna Sabalenka now in front 3-2.
Sabalenka was able to consolidate the break to take a 4-2 lead. The trouble for Goff on her serve continued as Sabalenka broke her yet again.
Double break point. Sabalenka's broken Goff twice in this opening set, looking for a third. Backhand into net by Goff. Sabalenka has the break, and Aryna Sabalenka, after 34 minutes, will serve for the opening set at 5-2.
And Sabalenka quickly put the game away to put her one set from the title.
She looks across the net. There's the toss. Serves down the center. Forehand return from Goff. Middle forehand Sabalenka, who moves to her right. Goes cross court with a forehand. Goff forehand into net. There's the opening set of this final.
Well, Goff settled down as the second set began, holding serve on back-to-back games for the first time in the match. And then she put the pressure right back on Sabalenka.
Toss and that serve long, a double fault. And Coco goes in front of this must-win second set. The double fault returns for Sabalenka. It costs her the break. And now Goff in front 3-1 here in the second set.
And while Sabalenka came at her again in the next service game, forcing another break point, Goff fought it off, then held to build her lead to 4-1. And they stayed on serve from there on. And at 5-3, Coco served to square the match at one set apiece.
Sabalenka now goes off with a forehand, and Coco Goff has gotten this U.S. Open final into a third set. Picked herself up after dropping the first set 6-2.
So now it would be one set. Winner take all. And Goff set the tone immediately in the third set.
Keep up that depth and that pace. Sabalenka's forehand hits the tape, drops. Here comes Goff, pushes the backhand volley. It lands, now a lob. Swinging volley for the break for Goff.
And after Goff held, Sabalenka found herself in trouble again on her serve. And again, Coco would make her pay.
Now a second serve coming from Sabalenka. A critical moment here in the third set of this final. In danger of going down 3-love to Coco Goff. That second serve out into the Goff backhand. Now Sabalenka goes forehand. She goes long, and Coco Goff is halfway to the title. She's broken Aryna Sabalenka twice and will serve at 3-love in the third set.
And after holding, Coco was now in complete control of the match, just 2 games away from her first Grand Slam win. And the crowd's reactions to every point she won got louder and louder, and Sabalenka, who began the match playing so well, was now plagued by unforced errors and couldn't keep pace with Coco. And while she did hold to make it 1-4, it was going to be a very steep hill for her to climb to get back into this match. But the only way to do it would be one step at a time, and Sabalenka took that first step in Coco's next service game.
First time in 5 service games that Sabalenka has had a break opportunity against Goff. Serves deep into the forehand. Now forehand down the left side from Goff. Backhand cross Sabalenka trying to break, trying to get a little bit closer. She's down 2 breaks. Forehand wide from Goff. She missed. Sabalenka breaks. Not over yet.
But Goff broke right back to put herself on the brink of the title.
Second serve, she gets it out wide. Goff with the cross-court forehand. Forehand cross Sabalenka. Forehand middle from Goff. Sabalenka backhand off the baseline. Goff backhand big into the corner. Sabalenka's there. Here comes Coco. Waits for the bounce. Forehand topspin winner. She gets the break right back, and she will serve for the championship.
And moments later, she brought it home.
Championship point for 19-year-old Coco Goff at 40-love. The serve down the center. Sabalenka's forehand. Here comes Goff. Big backhand. Sabalenka's backhand cross. Backhand cross court from Goff. Backhand Sabalenka. It's triple match point. Backhand Sabalenka into a Goff forehand. Sabalenka's in. Cuts off a backhand volley. Pass is good. And Coco Goff, at 19 years old, is the United States Open champion. What a summer it's been for the young woman that many expected to see on this stage, and now they are seeing it. Sabalenka was quickly around the net cord to hug Goff, who is back to a squat. She's crying. She cannot believe that she is the U.S. Open champion. Coco Goff joins Chris Everett, Tracy Austin, and the legendary Serena Williams as teenagers to have won the U.S. Open while representing the United States.
What a match for Coco. And yes, Brian, as you said, what a summer it has been for her. And here in this match, coming from a set down and then just dominating in the final set to win her first Grand Slam title. And what could be more fitting than for her to do it right here in New York in front of this crowd who was with her from the first ball to the last. And with this win, she becomes the first American woman to win here since Sloane Stephens did it in 2017. But what a run here in New York. And we have often said of Coco that she's the future of tennis. Well, the future has arrived. Congrats, Coco. And while that would be it for the action down at the Billie Jean King National Tennis Center, we are far from being done on this show. Up next, my conversation with Mary Carillo as Courtside continues.
Aperol is bringing a slice of Italy to the U.S. Open. Come join us as we serve up joyful vibes all tournament long. Aperol Liqueur, 11% alcohol by volume, 22 proof. Copyright 2023 Campari America, New York, New York. Please enjoy responsibly.
Chase has been a proud sponsor of the U.S. Open for 42 years and is committed to enhancing the experience for customers and fans. Chase customers get access to the Chase Lounge, Chase Terrace, and more with Chase Pass. Visit chase.com/US Open to learn more. Capacity is limited.
Spin is in. The new Wilson Shift racket is made to create mind-bending spin for more shots in, more forehands in, more backhands in, more everything in. So if you want more spin, check out the new Shift racket at the Wilson store, located outside of Louis Armstrong Stadium, or at wilson.com.
This is Courtside, the U.S. Open podcast.
What an incredible honor it is, as it always is, when I get to sit down with Mary Carillo. I don't have all the time to list all your accomplishments and awards. I'll just say Emmy Award winning, Grand Slam winning, one of the best broadcast journalists you will ever meet, and one of the kindest souls you'll ever encounter. So, Mary, it's great to see you.
I love sitting next to you, Mark. You know that.
It's fun. It's
yeah,
fun.
it is fun.
I love,
and fun is a good thing to have.
It is. It really is. And you know what? And I say this about Alcaraz. We're going to get to Alcaraz and Medvedev in a second. One of the reasons why I loved him so much is the joy with which he plays. I mean, you can see it even when things aren't going his way necessarily. You saw him smiling around last night when sort of the brief points of momentum that he had.
Yeah.
And I love that. And I think we need more of that in the game.
I think, well, you use the word game. I mean, when he plays it, obviously it's a sport, but he also treats it like it's a game.
Yeah.
And he's a show up. Like he's like an, you know how like an 8-year-old kid will come up to you and say, I can do 100 push-ups. And then they start doing them. And you're there, what the hell have I gotten myself into? And they don't know how to count to 100. You know what I mean? I love him. Medvedev outplayed him.
He really did.
I mean, and it's hard to, because Carlos is, you know, he's got all of his coaches. He's got everybody in his box telling him what to do. And he tried to do it, and he still couldn't do it. I mean, Medvedev, I love what Medvedev said afterwards. He knew, I think going in, he said, I have to play 10 out of 10. And then he said, after the match, for 2 sets, I played 12 out of 10.
He did. He played as great as I've ever seen him.
Those first 2 sets, he played as well as, I think, somebody who's 6'5", and really kind of skinny looking, and with really awkward strokes.
Yeah, that big sort of loop around. Yeah.
He looks. He plays. Every stroke he hits, it looks like he's just made it up for the first time. You think, how can he hit that hard, that flat from that far back, and hit lines? Yeah, consistently. How does he do that? Yeah, it's remarkable. It is remarkable. But I'm glad. You know what? I think this final with Djokovic, I think it's going to be fascinating. I mean, he's the one who stopped Djokovic for winning the Challenger Slam a couple of years ago. Yeah. He likes trying to outthink Novak, who's a great court thinker himself. Oh, he's a great chess blaster. I think there's going to be a lot of very, very interesting tennis this final weekend. I think it's going to be great. I agree with you, and I love to see the idea of a rematch. I mean, I think along with a lot of people, had fallen in love with the idea of, you know, Djokovic, Alcaraz. Right. You know, we had French, we had Wimbledon, we had Cincinnati. We're like, okay, this sort of completes the run for this summer, but I think, certainly Daniil deserves to be in the finals. He won that match. And even when he was up 2 sets to love, and you're like, okay, he's got everything going his way. When Alcaraz got the third set, you're like, okay, he could run back and win this thing now. Like, I think everybody's like, okay, this is where it turns. And boy, Daniil just really... He shut him down. He did. It was tremendous. I think you're right. So we had, obviously, the big three with Djokovic and Nadal. and Federer, and then that went away, and now we're thinking, okay, now it's the big two. now it's Djokovic and Alcaraz,
Right.
and Djokovic is 16 years older than this guy, and this is going to be a great generational, And then Medvedev shows up, a 27-year-old Russian guy, and you're like, oh, that's right, Medvedev is really good too.
He is.
Right?
Yeah. So this will be his third finals here at the U.S. Open because he lost to Nadal in that amazing where he came back from 2-0, ends up losing, but really won a lot of hearts.
Right.
And that was the year he became the villain in Armstrong.
Exactly.
And he still has that sort of love-hate relationship, which I love because I see when he's waving to the crowd, being like, where are my cheers? Look what I just did. It just makes me laugh.
Who are the fans going to be for on Sunday afternoon with Djokovic and Medvedev? Because they both like being villainous.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Both,
the two heels. Yeah.
Yeah. So now it's I think that'll be what I like about that whole idea is that the applause will be for the tennis.
Yes, exactly. And I think whoever is down, that's who people will start cheering for because they'll want things to extend.
They'll want more match.
Yeah, but it'll be a relatively neutral crowd, I think, and they will love the tennis. And I think we should be treated to an outstanding match.
I think it could be great, but you look at Djokovic, the way he's been playing. When you look at his eyes, every now and then, the TV cameras will close in on his eyes. Yes. I run out of the room.
I know.
That is like when he looks like that, when he starts looking like that with those eyeballs, that means he's, he wants to win this thing. He certainly wants to win it against the guy who kept him from winning the Slam 2 years ago.
Now, and first of all, I agree with you 100%. Yeah. And the first time I really remember seeing that look on his face this tournament was in the third set when he was down 2-0 against Laszlo Djere.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is the guy with 23 Grand Slams. Watch out, world. And he just came in and just ran the table.
And also, I like when Djokovic shows his defiance.
Yep.
I put on that black hat, dude. Put it on.
Own it.
Own it. Don't be, because I think for a long time, people who saw him like throwing his heart into the stands and stuff felt that was inauthentic, right? It didn't feel real. I like the real Novak.
People appreciate authenticity.
Of course they do. And I want him to be defiant.
Yeah.
He's 36 years old. He's trying to win even more majors. He's trying to be the greatest, indisputably the greatest tennis player of all time.
Yeah.
So go out there, slap on that big black hat. Get out there and do it.
And that's the thing. You talk about that. He has 23 slams. And you talk about that look, the eyes of a killer out there. It's like it's almost as if he's never won before. Yeah. He's like, I have to win this. I desperately have to win it. That's the hunger of really a great champion. Yeah. That it's never enough. He's like, I have to scale the mountain as high as I possibly can.
Here's the thing. When you think, and I know how great Alcaraz is, I enjoy him every bit as much as everybody else who is dazzled by that 20-year-old Spaniard. But as great as he is he going to get to 23 majors? Is anybody ever going to get near that?
Exactly.
Is Alcaraz ever going to get anyone who's going to be leaning up against him and shoving him around and pushing him to greatness the way Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic had with each other? That's what's astounding to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, back in the day, and I think I heard McEnroe talking about this the other day, when Sampras retired, you're like, well, that's the number. That's Babe Ruth. That's Hank Aaron. Like, We'll never get past that.
Yeah.
And not only did he get past it, blew past it.
Well, and Pete thought that was going to that was going to last. That was his mic drop. He wins this thing, walks away from the game. I got 14 majors.
Yeah, top that.
And yeah, he shouldn't have felt that way.
Roger said, "Here, hold my beer. Watch this."
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Now here's something I just realized, and I hadn't really looked at the stats that much. It should have occurred to me before. If Djokovic wins on Sunday, this will be the fourth time in his career that he will have won 3 of the 4 majors in one calendar year.
I know.
That's just astonishing to me.
It is astonishing. And let's face it, he won the first 2 legs of the Grand Slam, and then that 5-setter at Wimbledon against Alcaraz, that could have gone either way.
Oh, it absolutely could have. And going into that match, I thought, I love Alcaraz. He's still getting to know grass as a surface. He's played there for about an hour, and he pulls that off. Yeah. And I guess that's why when I see Alcaraz on the court, I just expect he's going to win because he keeps doing incredible things. I have to tone that down.
And can't you tell how respectful Novak is to Carlos Alcaraz in his game?
Yeah.
He likes his game. He likes his humility. He likes how hard he works. He likes everything about him. When Djokovic beat Alcaraz in Cincinnati before the U.S. Open, he acted like he'd won another major. I mean, to him, he was basically saying, your best and my best, like you haven't eclipsed me yet.
Right, I'm still here.
I'm still here, and God damn it, it's hot out here. And that was an incredible 2 out of 3 set match. And I honestly think for the first couple of rounds here, Novak looked fatigued.
Yeah.
From that Cincinnati final.
It took a toll. It certainly did.
And now in the last couple of rounds he's played so efficiently, right? Knocked off a couple of Americans, and I think he's so ready to win his 24th major. Yeah. And I think Medvedev is so ready to try to deny him.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to be a brilliant match. But you talk about the way Djokovic beat Fritz and then beat Shelton. Mm-hmm. He didn't beat him, love and won. Mm-hmm. He just did what he had to do. I'm going to get a break. I'm not going to let you attack my serve, and I'm going to win 6-4, 6-3.
Yeah, no, he's
just did what he needed to do. It was a very professional win.
I mean, he's so efficient, and I think he knows in his dotage that 36. Fight me.
But
he needs to be. Yeah. He needs to be efficient. He has to husband his strength. He has to measure his energy. It's absolutely remarkable watching him, try to make history again.
Yeah,
right?
I know that there is a love-hate relationship with him, with fans. I have some friends, some people I work with who are not particularly big fans of his, and I tell them, look, just put that in the back of your mind and just watch him play and marvel at what he does on the court because we'll never see the likes of that again.
I think you're right, Mark. I am, even if you don't like him, I happen to like him.
As do I.
He's a polyglot. He's very bright. He has left absolutely nothing to chance. He's so disciplined. He plays with such clarity. He's always barking at his players' box. I don't know why those people continue to sit there. I was calling the match, Mark, yesterday with Jimmy Arias, and we went from the Shelton party bus box.
I was listening the whole time.
Oh, you were.
You guys were fantastic, and you're right. I want to go sit in Shelton's spot.
I want the Sheltons to adopt me. I'm good for it. And then you go to the glares, the stares, the barking that Novak does if he misses a shot, and he acts like the people in the box, it was their fault because he wasn't returning from the proper position. How do you deal? I mean, and they know they've got to react to him like after they got to stand up when they have to stand up. They got to sit down. They got to. Oy vey, as we say in Queens. It's exhausting watching.
It is.
Thinking about what it's like sitting in that box.
And as you said, though, the Sheltons were just having a ball. And your thoughts on him? Because obviously that didn't go the way he wanted it.
Yeah.
He has got so much more to learn and grow.
He's got so much upside, right?
But boy, he really does. I try not to be the prisoner of the moment where, I just saw this and it's the greatest thing ever. But that match against Tiafoe, this is not just a flash. This feels like he's got so much great potential.
Well, he's got a ridiculous lefty serve. He knows how to use his leftiosity, like off the ground as well. He's so happy. He's got sort of that Alcaraz,
that joy
vibe. He wants to show you what he can do. And I love that Brian Shelton says he's like a Labrador retriever. He sees a ball, he wants to run after it. There's another one. Yeah, throw it farther, throw it deeper. And at the end of that match, I said, obviously he lacks all the experience of everyone around him.
Yes.
Right? But the experience he had out there against Djokovic will do him so much good.
I agree.
And he'll know what to do with it. And I said I have 3 dogs. They're all idiots, but they're happy to see you every time you walk in the damn door. It's like we've been gone forever. But they want to please, and that's how. And I said at the end of that match, because I had quoted Brian Shelton in saying that his son is like a Labrador Retriever, and I said, he's just starting. He's like a lab puppy.
Yes.
Like
yes.
a large, curly puppy. And when he's grows into his feet, as puppies do, he's really, I think he will really enjoy himself on this tour. I think he will embrace the life. As I said, I love that ball club he's got in that box.
Yeah. No, they've got the vibe right.
They've got the vibe right. That's exactly what I feel. Yeah.
And it gives you hope as a fan of American tennis. You know, we've been in the desert for a long time without a man winning a Grand Slam title here at the U.S. Open. And you try not to place too much pressure on the guys coming up.
Right.
But you're also like, you do know we got to win this at some point, guys. Somebody please.
Exactly. And all those guys, in the weeds, waiting for Federer to go away, for Nadal to go away. Now they got stinking Carlos Alcaraz to deal with. They're like, wait a minute.
Yeah, wait a minute.
We thought our path was clearer.
Did they clone Nadal, and now we got another one from Spain? What's going on here?
No. I think right now I find men's tennis to be very healthy.
Yes,
very interesting. Very healthy. It's been a good year for men's tennis.
It has, and not to we're still in the moment here at the U.S. Open, and I don't want to sort of look past it because I want to be present here. But as I look ahead to 2024, and I think the possibility of maybe a farewell tour for Rafa, see what he has left in the tank.
Yeah.
I think anytime he gets on the court, he's not going to get on the court unless he can perform the way he's expecting to.
That would be my guess. It sounds like he's practicing, and he's practicing pretty hard. But yeah, I mean, being gone a year is a big deal.
It is.
It's a big deal.
It is.
And I'm sure he will have standards that he must meet. But you also have to figure, Mark, he's got his sponsorships, he's got his commitments to turn.
Yeah.
He might do that too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what to expect from him. I hope I can expect the best because I love that guy.
I do too. And just to see him on the court. I mean, I'm going to tear up because I'm thinking of him and Roger, at the Laver Cup. And I was so grateful for that because you just wanted to see him one more time out there.
I know.
Even if it was a shadow of what he used to be, it meant everything in the world to me. And I think fans everywhere.
I'm sure you know the same story as what I'm going to tell. So the Laver Cup comes a couple of weeks after the U.S. Open, and Nadal obviously was already weary, and he was ready to kick up. He's done after the Open every year. But evidently, Roger called him up and said, "Can you come, and we'll play doubles together?" And Rafa said, "My dude, I haven't been playing." And you could see the way they played, the way Rafa played that one doubles match in Laver Cup. But he wanted to be there for Roger. I mean, that was it was just a beautiful thing that he said yes.
Yeah.
It was a lovely thing. That they played that match, and then when that whole tribute happened and they were sitting next to each other holding hands, I mean that's
it elevated the sport to such a different level, and it brings to mind the rivalry turned great friendship, lifelong friends of Martina and Chrissy.
Absolutely right.
And that amazing column by Sally Jenkins.
Sally girl can type.
She can type.
Sally can type.
This is a notice to the people that do the Pulitzers. Yeah, just send it to her right now because that was Pulitzer winning material.
Well, and she's one of my best friends, and
Love
Mark,
Sally.
and she wanted to write it for the French Open.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had said to her editor or whatever at the Washington Post, can you give me 4,000 words? And they said yes. And then she handed in 10,000. Little tightening up there. And then they said, all right, well, you got to cut that down. And then she brought it back, and it was 8,000. Whatever.
Yes.
And then they realized, okay, this is something special. So they kept it for the day before Wimbledon. And then there was a photo shoot and a video. And
the photo is
lovely.
The photo of them resting on each other's shoulders.
With their eyes
closed.
Okay, can I tell you that quick story? There's a very famous photographer for the Post who shot that. And he had been shooting them, for a while. And then he said to them, can you close your eyes? And Martina said, Why? Damn it. Well, she probably didn't say damn it, but she did. And Chrissy said, yeah, let's do that. Like Chrissy understood what that would look like.
Right.
And it's iconic. That's going to go down as one of the most famous
Absolutely.
tennis photos of all time.
Absolutely. And I said this on the show not too long ago, I think after I interviewed Sally, but I mean, they're part of the huge reason why I am a tennis fan.
Exactly.
I mean, I grew up watching Borg and McEnroe and, and then the various rivalries through the 80s and Connors and all that. But Chrissy and Martina and Borg and McEnroe, that's why this is in my blood now,
You and me both, my friend.
And you were out there with John.
Hey, I was losing to all of them.
No. You got a Grand Slam title. That's something.
I didn't have to go through either one of them. Tell you that much.
That's all right. Before I let you go,
Yes.
as we're taping this in the afternoon on Saturday, this is well before the women's final, so we're not going to talk about, hey, Coco did a great job to win that tournament.
We could say that, and I could say the same thing about Sabalenka, and then a little editing, I'll look like a genius.
But I am so, this is a wonderful final. I'm so happy for both of them. Obviously, for the opportunity for Coco to win her first Grand Slam, if it could be here at the U.S. Open, would just be magical. And for Sabalenka, the year that she has had after last year, and I keep citing the quote she had at the end of Breakpoint, the Netflix show, when she says, 2024 is going to be my year. And then she wins Australia, and this is all in the aftermath of the death of her father. And, and so
there's a lot.
There's a lot there. So, I genuinely will feel joy in my heart for whoever wins that final.
I think it's the dream final, honestly. Once Iga Swiatek lost, I mean, this is kind of what I was hoping for, right? I mean, Sabalenka, the second seed, the number 2 player coming into this thing, the number 1 player going out.
Yeah.
And Coco, obviously, who's, to me, she is the future, the face of women's tennis.
Yeah.
She just gets it on every level.
She really does.
She gets it. She understands her responsibility. She understands her own personal power in a way that you don't see out of your normal teenager.
No.
You don't see out of all these women around her don't do the job the way she does.
No, it's like she took the baton and says, "Okay, I know what my job is."
I get that. Yeah, exactly right.
Now, wasn't there some event just before the tournament, like a WTA
the gala?
The gala. And didn't she get up and give a speech?
She was unbelievable. So it was a big gala, the 50th anniversary of Equal Prize Money.
Right.
So it was 400 people. This I didn't know. I had any idea. I would have dressed better. But that's another story for another time. But of course, everyone's honoring Billie Jean and Rosie and all the, all those people, and then all the people who began tennis. Everyone was and this kid Coco gets up there without notes and just gives such a remarkable. I can't. The speech it didn't even feel like a speech. It just felt like she had opened up her ribcage and started and just let her beating heart talk about how much she understands what happened 50 years ago and how she is the grand recipient of all the work that the 4 mothers did. It was so classy and so elegant. And the beautiful part about Coco, and you know this, Mark, she's doing all these really grown-up things in between giggling.
That's what I love about her the most. She still allows herself to be a kid and have fun. Like even talking on court after that win in the semis, which is like talking about watching anime.
I know.
I know. It's just.
I know it. And you realize how young she really is.
And I see her when she plays with Pegula, like the genuine fun that they have, and I think that's just who she is, and she brings that out in so many people around her. And
exactly right.
When I look at her, you're right. She is the future of tennis. I firmly believe that, and I can rest well at night knowing it's in such good hands.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I could not leave this interview if I did not read a quote from you.
Now
which
what did I say? Now what did I say?
This is the single greatest quote in the history of Western civilization. This is when you had been named a commentator for the Hallmark Channel's Paw Star game. And you said, quote,
"It's a career in crisis." But go on.
I would give my eye teeth to be in that event.
I do weird things.
At best, baby cats have the barest, most rudimentary grasp of the rules and regulations of American football and baseball, and that's really okay with me. Frankly, watching kittens play any sport is going to be endearing and adorable. And
I stand by my quote, Mark.
That's why I love you, Mary Carillo.
I love you right back.
Thank you for everything
My
that you
pleasure.
have done, you continue to do. You're the best.
My pleasure.
I'm just going to say this now. Mary Carillo is a national treasure, just an absolutely wonderful person, and I love every chance I get to chat with her. And I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. Well, that's going to do it for us today. So let me thank our sponsors, the USDA, for making the show possible. And let me also thank Mary Carillo for coming on. And of course, thanks to all of you for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow for the final day of the U.S. Open when we'll crown the women's doubles champion and the men's singles champ. So make your plans to join us. And until then, be well, and we'll see you tomorrow.